This Sports Plus conversation is sponsored by your Quality Ford dealers. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 47 years.
So Battlehawks coach Anthony Becht is a busy man. Coaching our football team is just one of his 3 jobs. He's also the radio analyst for the New York Jets, but his best job is being the father of Rocco Becht, who's a star quarterback for Iowa State. We recently got together at the Dome. My conversation with the coach is tonight's Sunday Conversation. All right, Coach, first up, I got to ask you about Rocco. How much fun are you having watching your flesh and blood?
Yeah, I'll tell you, I'm incredibly proud of what he's been doing. I mean, you know, I played tight end when I was in college, and when I messed up, no one would know, right? Like, he's got the ball in his hands every play. You know, it's on a great journey. They're top 10 in the country. To be undefeated, to have a great comeback win this past week. I mean, he's just kind of putting his footprint for himself. You know, Brock Purdy went there, so there's all these expectation levels. And he's just like, you know, he's being Rocco, man. And he puts the work in. Obviously, it shows the preparation, everything that he does. So just really proud of it. And, you know, me and my wife love going and watching him.
Congrats on the Hall of Fame in West Virginia for you this season.
Yeah.
And then Rocco steals the show and wins the game, but I'm sure you were rooting against your alma mater that day, right?
Yeah, 100%. Like that, I had 2-3 minutes of greatness there, but other than that, I wanted my kid to win. You know, it was you know, there's a lot going on that week. I mean, I had a Hunter family there because I'm from that area, Northeast Philly, and then also West Virginia. So we had just so many people coming to see him, and it just so happened to work out that you know, I was able to kind of, you know, do that ceremony the same day. They made a special deal for me to do that in front of him, and it was great. It was a perfect script. If you could have wrote one, that was awesome.
What makes you the most nervous? Coaching a Battlehawks game, watching your son, or actually as a player?
I tell people this all the time. I never got anxiety or nervousness as a player or coach, but when your son's playing, you know, you want him to do well every single play, and he obviously touches the ball every play. So I got my wife grabbing my arm and hanging on me every single snap.
How about walking into this building and seeing all the improvements, this incredible AstroTurf?
I'll tell you what, man, you know, I've been so fortunate to be the coach here. You know, when I go back and think about just getting the opportunity to be a head coach, and then they placed me in St. Louis, man, this is unbelievable. Fan base, the people, everything, and now you have a place like the Dome. They got new LED lights and, you know, this beautiful turf. I mean, you know, it's already good enough. I mean, and the locker room is great. So for our players to play here and to have the support, you know, not only within the Dome, but just the communities and the fans and the businesses around here that have gotten involved with us, it's great. And it strives and pushes me to put a really good product on the field. And trust me, I'm working and amping up to get more players, better players, and really make that push. And we got to win a championship, so that's the goal.
And product-wise, you're really loaded coming into next season. Your running backs are back, your tight end's back, 2 second-round draft choices at wide receiver. What about your quarterback spot?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think from top to bottom, everybody's getting evaluated, and how can we better the team? And I think, you know, for us, we had a really great quarterback room last year. You know, AJ's done such a phenomenal job. Manny, and you know, all these guys that have come through just have really provided us really good start to where we want to be. And I think whether it's quarterback, long snapper, receivers, like, we just continue to look at our roster and say, okay, how can we just improve overall? I'd love to have everybody back from last year's team. And again, AJ's taking a little break right now. Those conversations will get there when we get there. But, you know, like you said, we have 2 great signings at the receiver position, going to amp up our offense, make sure our quarterbacks and our OC have great weapons. But we're working on a lot of other guys right now, and it's consistent recruiting because a lot of these players we want are looking at, you know, NFL teams are getting workouts, and how do we kind of convince them to say this is the option that's good for you right now. So we're going to have some really good signings here over the next couple weeks.
Final thought, you have a great proposal story that's somewhat football related.
Yeah. So when I was at West Virginia, obviously I met my wife at school, and you know, I had this great idea. I wanted to propose to my wife. It was after the season, before the draft, and I wanted to do it at the stadium at Mountaineer Field. So I got Tony Caridi, who's a long time, he does the games now for football. He did it when I was there. He was there in the talking on the PA announcement. I had the digital board going where it said, you know, look. He said, "Will you look up at the big screen?" And like, these words popped up. "Will you marry me?" Got down on the knee. But the back end story, which was really funny, is we had a ton of family in, and they were all at the apartment. And my wife was so mad that I told her we had to go work at camp at the stadium at that moment. She was so mad, like, "I can't believe you booked this during the time when our family's here," yelling at me from all the way from the apartment to the stadium. We walk into the stadium, man, she just felt so silly. And everybody was laughing at her when she got back to the house, but man, it was tough to get her. I didn't think I was gonna get her there, but she did. She was pissed off, but she did show up, and that evilness that she had turned into cheers. So it was good, man. It was a great memory. And again, it's just part of the legacy and everything that really was when I was there at West Virginia.